there are no less than 3 songs on the record with a question mark in the song title. Why is that?
There are so many questions, so it's a kind of feels like a questioning time, and I suppose without realizing it, we made a record which is a lot about there being lots of questions, and the answers are complicated, too complicated to put in a song, unfortunately.
Do you think questions are more interesting than answers in music?
If there were answers in music, then the answers would be really, really interesting, I think. But I don't think there are necessarily any answers in music.
Yeah, I mean, like, music is generally good at describing something or evoking something, but music's generally not very good at explaining things. And a good answer is usually should be a real explanation. So yeah, music's generally not used for that.
But why isn't it a good medium for answers?
Because answers are too complicated, and music is about like communicating in a direct way. So the best thing to communicate is that the answers are complicated, but you can't explain them. You can describe around it. You can try and get somebody to feel how important it is, but real explanations are probably best in prose, where you can take time to spread it out. You know, explanations that would be better in a novel than in music, I think.
Still, there's quite a lot of people who try to come up with answers or alternatives. Like there's a long history of protest songs, for example, who try to come up with different answers to the same questions, perhaps.
But I think that the best protest songs are ones which just give you an emotional connection to something. Like I always think of Ghost Town by the Specials. It describes what it was like to be in Britain in the 80s. It doesn't necessarily give any answers, but it makes you really feel like what it was like to be in Thatcher's Britain. A lot of protest songs, unfortunately, are just a good slogan, but now isn't the time for good slogans. Slogans have been taken by advertisers are better at slogans than we ever are. To fight against that, we need to go beyond slogans. We need to go. Simplifying things isn't going to work anymore, I don't think. Like to change things politically.
Still, it seems like the right time for protest songs now.
Yeah,
there's a lot to protest against.
I think it is.
But protest, by its very nature, is a question. It's questioning the status quo. A protest is against what is happening. So it's not necessarily an answer, but it's a way of raising the question, and that's the important thing I think music can do. That music can do, yeah.
Do you see protest music in our age? Is there any? If you could name someone.
I think there's a lot of hip hop. There's a lot of rap music in urban Britain, which I think is protest music, but I don't think it's going to change anyone's mind about anything. What I've heard, like, again, it's tied up in trying to simplify things, and what needs to be changed now, I think, is how we debate things, especially in the media. Politicians have become so good at simplifying answers to sell it to you that, yeah, the real answers are always hidden away. So I'm not sure. I think lots and lots of writers now. You can feel that undercurrent of protest in what they do, but people are trying to find a more subtle way to do it, and I think that goes like across all sorts of different new music. I mean, I think indie bands in the UK are probably trying to do it to a certain degree, but I also think you know, like maybe some of the kind of more folky American artists, they're trying to talk about how things are now, but they're trying to do it in a more complex way. Whether that is effective, whether that ever changes anyone's mind, like it's difficult to know, but lots of people are trying.